Have you ever noticed that the people who are available to everyone are often valued by no one? They answer every message instantly, say yes to every request, sacrifice their own priorities to keep others happy, and somehow end up feeling exhausted, ignored, and replaceable. Meanwhile, there are people who are not necessarily smarter, richer, or more talented, yet they command attention the moment they enter a room. Their presence feels important. Their words carry weight, and strangely enough, they are often the hardest people to access. Why does this happen? The answer lies in one of the most powerful ideas associated with Robert Greene. People value what is scarce and overlook what is always available. Think about gold. Gold is not valuable simply because it looks beautiful. It is valuable because it is rare. Diamonds are expensive because they are difficult to obtain. Luxury brands create exclusivity because they understand human psychology better than most people do. The harder something is to get, the more desirable it becomes. Now ask yourself an uncomfortable question. If your time, your attention, and your energy are available to everyone at any moment, why would people consider them valuable? Most people are raised to believe that being liked is the key to happiness. They are taught to be agreeable, to never disappoint anyone, and to always be there for others. At first, this seems noble. But over time, it becomes a trap. Because when you are endlessly available, people stop appreciating your effort and start expecting it. Your kindness becomes an obligation. Your generosity becomes routine. And your sacrifices become invisible. Imagine a man who spends years helping everyone around him. He answers calls late at night, cancels his plans for friends, and puts other people's needs ahead of his own. In the beginning, everyone praises him. They call him loyal, dependable, and selfless. But as time passes, something changes. People stop thanking him. They assume he will always be there. And the moment he decides to prioritize himself, people accuse him of changing. But did he really change? Or did he simply stop allowing others unlimited access to his life? This is one of the hardest truths to accept. Sometimes people don't miss you when you're gone. They miss the benefits they received from having unrestricted access to you. And once you understand this, you begin to see the world differently. You realize that your time is not infinite. Your attention is not free. Your energy is not something to be handed out carelessly. The people who are truly respected understand this instinctively. They are not arrogant. They are not cold. They simply know that the most valuable things in life lose their worth when they are given away without limits. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or treating people badly. It means becoming intentional. It means understanding that every yes to someone else is often a no to your own goals. It means recognizing that protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. And the moment you start valuing yourself differently, the world starts responding to you differently as well. But there is one psychological mistake that keeps most people trapped in the cycle of being overlooked. It is subtle, addictive, and incredibly destructive. And until you overcome it, becoming truly valuable will remain impossible. The first mistake that silently destroys your value is not laziness, lack of talent, or even fear of failure. It is the addiction to approval. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be liked. They shape their personalities according to what others expect, hide their true opinions to avoid criticism, and sacrifice their own happiness just to maintain acceptance. At first, this behavior feels harmless. You tell yourself that you are simply being kind, flexible, or understanding. But slowly, something dangerous begins to happen. You stop asking yourself what you want and start asking what other people want from you. Your identity becomes dependent on their reactions. Your confidence rises when people praise you and disappears when they criticize you. And without realizing it, you hand over the control of your self-worth to the world. This is why approval is so addictive. It gives you temporary happiness but never lasting peace. The more you receive, the more you need. And eventually, you become afraid of disappointing anyone because rejection feels like losing a part of yourself. But here is the paradox. The more desperately you seek approval, the less people respect you. Human beings naturally admire people who are comfortable with themselves. They are attracted to those who have standards, boundaries, and the courage to say no. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones constantly trying to impress everyone? Or are they the ones who remain true to themselves, even when others disagree with them? The answer is obvious. Confidence is magnetic. And real confidence comes from self-acceptance, not public approval. Imagine two people entering a room. The first person desperately wants everyone to like him. He changes his opinions depending on who he is talking to, laughs at jokes he doesn't find funny, and avoids saying anything controversial. The second person is respectful but authentic. He doesn't seek conflict, yet he isn't afraid of disagreement. He doesn't need everyone to approve of him, because his self-worth comes from within. Which person do you think commands more respect? Which person seems more valuable? The answer reveals an important truth. People are drawn to those who are not desperate for their attention. This is why some individuals become unforgettable, while others remain invisible. The invisible ones spend their lives asking, "How can I make people like me?" The unforgettable ones ask, "How can I become someone I respect?" That single shift changes everything. Because once you stop chasing approval, you begin investing your energy elsewhere. You focus on your goals. You build your skills. You strengthen your character. And suddenly, your life is no longer controlled by other people's opinions. You become calmer because criticism no longer destroys you. You become stronger because rejection no longer defines you. And ironically, people begin respecting you more because they can sense that your confidence is genuine. But breaking free from approval is not easy. It requires disappointment. It requires the courage to let some people misunderstand you. It requires accepting that not everyone will like you, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, trying to be loved by everyone is one of the fastest ways to lose yourself, because every time you betray your values to gain acceptance, you become less authentic and less valuable. The world does not reward those who abandon themselves to please others. It rewards those who know their worth and protect it. Yet even after escaping the trap of approval, there is another danger waiting for you, a danger that affects almost everyone in the modern world. It is the habit of giving away your most precious resource without realizing its value. And once you understand what that resource is, you will never look at your life the same way again. There is one thing in this world more valuable than money, more limited than opportunities, and more powerful than talent. It is your time, yet most people give it away as if it costs nothing. They answer messages the second they arrive, cancel their own plans to satisfy others, sit through conversations that drain them, and spend hours seeking validation from people who contribute nothing to their growth. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted, overlooked, and unappreciated. The answer is simple. People value what you value. If you treat your time as cheap, the world will treat it the same way. Think about the most successful and respected people you know. They are not respected because they are constantly busy. They are respected because they are selective. They understand that every hour spent on something meaningless is an hour stolen from something important. They know that attention is a currency and that the way they spend it determines the quality of their lives. Most people, however, never learn this lesson. They say yes to every invitation because they fear missing out. They keep toxic people in their lives because they fear loneliness. They reply instantly because they fear being forgotten. And slowly, their entire existence becomes a reaction to other people's expectations. This is why they feel powerless. Their schedule belongs to everyone except themselves. Imagine a luxury restaurant where anyone could walk in, eat for free, and occupy a table for as long as they wanted. How long would people consider that restaurant special? Not very long. Exclusivity creates value. Boundaries create respect. Scarcity creates appreciation. The same rule applies to your life. If everyone has unlimited access to your attention loses its importance. But when people understand that your time is limited and must be earned, they begin to treat it differently. They listen more carefully when you speak. They appreciate your presence more deeply. They respect you because you respect yourself. Unfortunately, most people are terrified of this idea. They confuse boundaries with selfishness. They believe saying no makes them rude. But protecting your time is not selfish. It is an act of self-respect. Because every yes comes with a cost. When you say yes to distractions, you say no to your dreams. When you say yes to people who drain you, you say no to your peace. When you say yes to everyone's demands, you slowly lose control over your own life. This is why the most powerful people are not those who do the most. They are those who know what to ignore. They are willing to disappoint others in order to remain loyal to their goals. They understand that being available to everyone is a form of weakness, disguised as kindness. and they refuse to live that way. The truth is, some people will become upset when you start protecting your time. They will accuse you of changing. They will say you have become distant or selfish. But pay close attention to who becomes angry when you create boundaries. Often, these are the people who benefited most from your lack of them, and their reaction tells you something important. They never respected your time because you never taught them to. Remember this forever. Your time is not just a resource, it is your life itself. Every hour you waste trying to please people is an hour you will never get back. Every moment spent chasing approval is a moment stolen from the person you could become. This realization is uncomfortable because it forces you to take responsibility. No one else is wasting your life. Every unnecessary distraction you entertain, every toxic relationship you tolerate, and every dream you postpone is ultimately a decision you make. But this realization is also empowering, because if your choices created your current life, then your choices can create a different future. A future where your time is protected, your energy is respected, and your presence becomes valuable. Yet protecting your time alone is not enough. There is something even more important, something that determines whether people admire you, ignore you, or fear losing access to you altogether. That thing is self-respect. And once you understand its power, you will never settle for being ordinary again. Most people think becoming expensive is about appearing busy, acting mysterious, or making yourself difficult to reach. But none of these things matter if you don't respect yourself, because people can sense insecurity, even when it is hidden behind confidence. They can sense when someone is pretending to be valuable instead of truly believing in their own worth. This is why self-respect is the foundation of all power. It is the invisible force that shapes the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you make decisions, and the way the world responds to you. A person with self-respect does not beg for attention, because he knows his value is not determined by other people's opinions. He does not tolerate disrespect because he understands that what he accepts becomes the standard others follow. He does not abandon his principles just to avoid being disliked because he would rather lose approval than lose himself. This kind of confidence is rare, and rarity is exactly what makes it powerful. Think about the people who leave a lasting impression on you. Chances are, they are not the loudest or the most popular individuals you have met. They are the people who seem comfortable in their own skin. They don't rush to explain themselves. They don't chase people who walk away. They don't compromise their values for temporary acceptance. They possess a quiet certainty that cannot be faked, and because of that certainty, others naturally respect them. The opposite is also true. When you constantly seek approval, tolerate disrespect, and ignore your own needs to keep others happy, people begin to sense that your standards are negotiable. And once people believe your standards are negotiable, they start negotiating your value. They take your kindness for granted. They expect your availability. They assume you will always sacrifice yourself because you always have. This is why so many people feel trapped in unhealthy relationships, toxic friendships, and unfulfilling lives. They are not prisoners of other people. They are prisoners of their fear of losing people. But here is a truth that changes everything. Every time you choose self-respect, you become a little freer. Every time you say no to something that violates your values, you strengthen your identity. Every time you walk away from people who only appreciate you when you make yourself small, you reclaim a piece of your power. Growth often begins with disappointment. You will disappoint people when you create boundaries. You will lose relationships when you stop accepting less than you deserve. You will be misunderstood when you choose yourself over approval. But these losses are not punishments. They are proof that you are evolving. Because the people who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries. They will celebrate your growth. They will not demand that you betray yourself to keep them comfortable. The world often tells you that being loved is the ultimate goal. But being loved without being respected is a dangerous illusion. Real love respects boundaries. Real friendship respects individuality. Real connection never requires you to become someone else. This is why self-respect is more important than popularity. Popularity changes with trends and opinions. Self-respect remains when everything else disappears. And once you build it, something remarkable happens. You stop fearing rejection because you no longer reject yourself. You stop chasing attention because your purpose becomes more important than people's opinions. You stop trying to convince the world of your value because you have already convinced yourself. That is the moment you begin to change, not on the outside but at your core. And people notice. They notice your calmness. They notice your standards. They notice that you are no longer desperate for validation. Suddenly your presence feels different, stronger, more valuable, harder to replace. But there is one final secret that separates people who are respected from people who become unforgettable. It is not about scarcity, boundaries, or even self-respect alone. It is about building a life so meaningful that you no longer need the world to remind you of your worth. Most people spend their lives trying to become important in the eyes of others. They chase attention, collect followers, seek praise, and hope that one day the world will finally recognize their worth. But the people who become truly unforgettable follow a completely different path. They stop asking, "How can I make people value me?" and start asking, "How can I become so valuable that I no longer depend on anyone's approval?" That single question changes everything. Because real value is not created by appearances. It is created by character. It is built quietly through discipline, consistency, and the willingness to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They are not usually the ones trying hardest to impress everyone. In fact, many of them seem almost indifferent to public opinion. They have something more important to focus on: a mission, a purpose, a vision for their lives that is bigger than the need to be liked. This is what makes them magnetic. Human beings are naturally drawn to people who know where they are going. Confidence is attractive, but purpose is irresistible. When you wake up every morning with a goal that excites you, something interesting happens. You stop obsessing over who ignored your message. You stop worrying about who approves of your choices. You stop chasing people because your energy is invested in building yourself. And ironically, this is often the moment people begin chasing you, not because you manipulated them, but because you became someone whose attention is valuable. Think about a mountain climber. He doesn't stop halfway up the mountain to ask whether people admire him. His eyes are fixed on the summit. He understands that greatness requires focus. The same principle applies to life. The more obsessed you are with external validation, the less energy you have for internal growth. But when your focus shifts inward, toward your skills, your character, and your purpose, you begin to develop a presence that cannot be ignored. This is why the most respected people are often the least desperate. They are not trying to prove themselves. They are too busy becoming themselves. They understand that popularity is temporary, but mastery lasts. Trends come and go, but discipline remains. Opinions change, but character endures. And because their identity is rooted in something deeper than public approval, they become emotionally independent. This independence is one of the rarest qualities in the modern world. We live in a society where people constantly seek validation. Social media rewards attention-seeking. Society encourages comparison. Everyone wants to be seen. But very few people are willing to do the difficult work of becoming worth seeing. That work happens in silence. It happens when you keep your promises to yourself. When you continue improving even when no one is watching. When you protect your peace instead of chasing drama. When you remain disciplined while others are distracted. These invisible moments shape your destiny more than any public achievement ever could. Because in the end, your value is not determined by what people say about you. It is determined by the standards you live by when nobody is looking. And once you understand this, you stop trying to appear valuable. You become valuable. Your presence changes. Your confidence becomes genuine. Your attention becomes scarce. People begin to notice that you are no longer easy to manipulate, no longer desperate to be liked, and no longer willing to sacrifice your future for temporary approval. That is real power. But even after becoming valuable, there is one final lesson that very few people ever learn. It is the lesson that transforms confidence into freedom and self-respect, into inner peace. A lesson so powerful that once you understand it, you will never fear rejection, loneliness, or being overlooked again. At the deepest level, everything comes down to one simple truth. Nothing outside you defines your value unless you allow it to. Not people's opinions, not their silence, not their rejection, not their approval. The moment you give the outside world authority over how you feel about yourself, You lose control of your life. This is why so many people feel unstable. Their emotions rise and fall depending on who responds to them, who ignores them, who praises them, and who criticizes them. They are not living their life. They are reacting to other people's reactions. But there is another way to exist. A way where your sense of worth is no longer borrowed from external validation, but built internally through discipline, self-awareness, and self-respect. This is the point where everything you have learned in this journey begins to merge into one powerful realization. Becoming expensive is not about distance, mystery, or manipulation. It is about independence, emotional independence, mental independence, identity independence. When you are no longer dependent on approval, something remarkable happens. You stop over-explaining yourself because you are no longer seeking permission to exist. You stop chasing people who ignore you because you are no longer measuring your worth through their attention. You stop compromising your values because you are no longer afraid of losing people who were never aligned with you in the first place. This is the state most people never reach because it requires letting go of something deeply addictive, the need to be understood by everyone. The truth is, you will be misunderstood. You will be misjudged. You will be seen incorrectly by people who only see fragments of who you are. And if you depend on universal understanding, you will spend your entire life disappointed. But when your self-worth becomes internal, misunderstanding loses its power over you. You no longer feel the need to correct every assumption or defend every decision. You simply continue moving forward. There is a quiet strength in this state, not the strength that seeks attention, but the strength that no longer needs it. You begin to realize that peace is more valuable than popularity. Clarity is more valuable than approval, and self-respect is more valuable than being liked. And once you reach this understanding, your behavior naturally changes. You become more selective with your time. You become calmer in conflict. You become less reactive to rejection, not because you are suppressing emotion, but because you are no longer controlled by it. This is what makes a person truly rare. Not perfection, not status, not wealth, but inner stability in a world that constantly tries to destabilize you. And ironically, this inner stability is what makes others respect you more. Because people can sense when someone is grounded. They can feel when someone is not seeking anything from them emotionally. They notice when your presence is calm, intentional, and self-contained. That is when you become difficult to ignore, not because you are chasing attention, but because you no longer need it. So the final truth is simple but powerful. Your value was never something the world could give you, and it was never something the world could take away. It was something you either recognize in yourself or spend your life searching for outside yourself. And the moment you finally recognize it, everything changes. You stop being easy to access, not because you built walls, but because you built a life that does not depend on constant external validation. You become grounded. You become focused. You become rare. And in a world full of people trying to be seen, the person who no longer needs to be seen becomes unforgettable.